Hello everyone and welcome back. It's the Undertale Deltarune Summer 2024 newsletter. Now, like last time, in order to get this as soon as possible, I'm not following through with my email for the newsletter, so I might miss out on some truck freak type stuff. We'll see. This is from the archive of the Deltarune Undertale newsletters, so I think it should be the standard one. I don't know, we'll see. It'll have the important parts there anyway, okay? So we're starting out with Summer Toriel, good for her. Hi everyone, Deltarune Chapter 4 is making great overall progress. As of the time of writing this, I imagine that's supposed to be June 23rd, 2024. All maps are done. All battles are playable. Only 2 cutscenes need small improvements. 1 battle needs to be balanced and the visuals need to be completed. 1 battle needs a better background. 2 battles are having their ending sequences improved. There's still some things left to fix and places to polish. 3 of my friends were able to play through the entirety of the unfinished Chapter 4. All of them liked it and didn't have any major criticisms. Phew! Except for one friend who kept mentioning that I should name all of the chairs because of the existence of Cheerio implies that all the other chairs should have names as well, and I'm probably not going to do that. I'm not sure if Chapter 2 is still the longest chapter, but Chapter 3 and 4 together are definitely longer than Chapter 1 and 2 combined. Oh boy. Thinking about that is kind of crazy. Initial development of Chapter 5 is also progressing steadily. Most of the team are still focusing on Chapter 4, but a few people are going ahead and creating an initial draft of Chapter 5's maps, working on bullet patterns, etc. Okay. Sans, I have to keep my hair dry. That's why I'm wearing this cap. Okay. So what, birdseed? Would that not... Well, I guess it wouldn't. I was going to say pop, like popcorn, but no, that's not really how all seeds work. It's funny. Chapter 4 is basically playable, minus some polish. So it must seem like Chapter 3 and 4 are going to come out really soon, right? Actually, the release is still far away. We've gotten 3 months closer, but it's still far. Why? How does that horrible, despair-inducing, teeth-gnashing fact that keeps me up at night make any sense at all? I want them out now. Well, I'll tell you. Okay, Metaton Bullet. That's right, creating the chapters is only the first step. Okay, well, we knew this. Really? Ralsei, look out. Interesting that we're doing hat Ralsei. I wonder, okay, somebody did bring this up before, I think, and I think it's a good idea, that Ralsei is going to put the hat back on in Chapter 3 in order to hide his identity from Toriel. Anyway, releasing the chapters is a whole other ordeal. It wouldn't be such a big deal if the game was still free, but since this is going to be our first big paid release since Undertale, we really have to take the extra time to make sure it's perfect. So they're going to try to iron out the bugs that usually come with the game. The last 2 times we've had it. Our goal is simultaneous console and PC release in both English and Japanese. Okay, well, that is interesting, actually. I'll touch on that in the end. So, what do we have to do? Well, it's long, so click below if you're curious. Okay, well, I guess I'll talk about it right now before I click that. Console would obviously include the Switch, right? And not only is Nintendo's process known to be longer than most other consoles for, like, checking and balancing and all that, but, like, they're in a transitional period to the next console. So, it's possible that there are 2 Switches the game is being made for at the moment, especially because Toby has worked with Nintendo before. So that could actually contribute a little bit to this taking a bit longer. But obviously, getting the game perfect in both English and Japanese is quite an undertaking, you know, translating everything in all these 2 chapters. Deltarune is a very dialogue-heavy game, and you want to be very specific with how, like, people examine the lore. Like, you know, you want to make sure you're not implying things that you don't really mean to. And, of course, there's still the actual bug testing, which means they're going to have to play through all of both chapters multiple times with multiple different people to try to find everything before release. So that's another big time factor. And they're not quite done yet, even. So... that makes sense. But when he says far away, I'm imagining, like, he's saying next year. Like, maybe not in the fall like we were thinking. Maybe it'll be, like, early next year. We'll see. I guess it kind of depends when the Switch 2 is coming out, too, maybe. We'll see. I said we'll see a lot, but hey. Quest to release Chapter 3 and 4. Okay. Guinea Pig Syndrome. That's right, the first quest we have to clear regardless of any way that we want to release anything. We have to be the guinea pig for a brand new function of Game Maker. Oh, right, I forgot about this, too. That's also a thing. Which they haven't finished yet, so this is, yeah. Yes, Yo-Yo Games, the creators of our engine Game Maker, are adding a special new function to it just for us. This is a new command for Game Maker called Game_Change. Okay. It allows you to separately launch different games you have created in Game Maker. It even works on console. That means we can create each chapter as an independent game project and swap between them using this function. That actually would be very helpful. As someone who's, messed around in, like, RPG Maker and stuff, one of the most overwhelming things is, like, when you get to a certain point in development, you've just got so many files, you know what I mean, to sift through just to find what you're looking for. For the Chapter 1 and 2 demo, we initially committed the strange act of smashing both chapters together into one game project. It wasn't such an issue with only 2 chapters, but as the game progresses, doing something like that will become more and more troublesome. Here's the kind of trouble that could arise if we didn't have Game_Change. When editing the combined project, we wouldn't know if anything during the process might have inadvertently affected anything at any point in the game. So each time we patched any chapter, we would have to test all the chapters over again. That would be bad, yeah. Game Maker would potentially be slow to run the game with content on the scale of 3 chapters or more. On the player's side, initial loading of the game would potentially take longer and longer as we add more chapters. Yeah, that wouldn't be nice either. Anyway, the point is, with this command, we have a solution to all those issues, with one caveat. The new function is, well, brand new. It's never been tested broadly on many computers and platforms before, therefore we would soon like to ask for your help in testing it. It's estimated Game Maker will be updated with the new command within the next few weeks. At that time, we'll put out a version of Chapter 1 and 2 that uses it, along with some more detailed instructions about testing. For future updates on this topic, keep your eyes on the official Undertale Twitter. Okay. And in case you don't have a Twitter account, I'm happy for you. Nice. Quest 2, make the console versions. Nice. Since our goal is simultaneous console and PC release, we will have to make our console versions of Chapter 3 and 4. It's no problem to get the game running on console at this point, but making sure there's no differences or bugs between console and PC version will take a bit of time. Each console manufacturer also has their own special rules and standards, so we'll have to update the games to reflect those things appropriately. We'll begin focusing on this as the PC version is reaching completion. The Legend of Localization. Cute. Kawaii. Is that even what that says? I don't think so. Kawaii? Maybe that's E. It doesn't look like E as far as I know it, but whatever. It looks more like G, but I don't know. As I mentioned, we're aiming for simultaneous English and Japanese release. After all, it'd be pretty strange if only the first 2 chapters had Japanese and the 3rd and 4th ones didn't. At this point, getting the Japanese script in the game is trivial, but the location and timing of Japanese text always needs many small adjustments to make it just as good as the English version. Plus, there's always some lines we forget to hand over for translation. Chapter 3's localization is already amazing. Now that I can read all the Japanese, I've been able to personally review every single line. Oftentimes, the phrasing in English is very vague, so I try to clarify everything I can for the translation team. I know localization isn't something that interests most people that much, but I'm really proud. Original creators are very rarely involved in the translation process of their works this closely. That's true. Reading the Japanese and English versions side by side could be a great way to study, although rules card might make you stupider. The Weather Girl. The Weather Girl? So wait, this is rules card, so he's going to be in this chapter? Is that what you're saying? I mean, I don't know. It says System La Niño, so maybe that's La Niño. Yeah. In Japanese. Weather Girl who really makes it rain, like with water, though. Water, ice. Look, you can see their element. Chris, get ready for another fight. Okay, no, that's Rossi. What did I do? I think it was British. Chris, get ready for another fight. No, rules is here. Quell thy mouth, my dearest Bimbito. Bimbito, I see. We're just hereth for the snacks. Is he gonna include Spanish into his language now? Great. Oh, you want some treats? Treats of the trade. So Lancer's gonna be here too. Interesting. Ginger Guard. So okay, the gingerbread monsters are in here. A steel. Oh no, it's an item. A steel bangle tempered by extreme flame. Its shape is humanoid in nature. Look, I punched through a guy. A bigger one could make Chris. Oh, so maybe these are the gingerbread humans, actually. Shadow guy. Battling's just a side gig. Playing on the stage is the dream. Okay. Is there anything else I can parse from here? Not really, right? Anyway, the localization of Chapter 4 will need to be completed before the chapter's release. By the time you read this, I hope that we've already started. I think the characters will be easier to localize than Chapters 2 or 3, so hopefully it'll be smooth. That's interesting. I guess because they're not using, like, computer dialogue. Like, they're using computer puns, essentially. Perhaps. Quest 4, Bug Hunting. No, Vera-kun. Releasing a game properly means trying to hunt down every major bug you can find. Fortunately, we have a dedicated company that will test our game and help. A group of professionals will play the game cumulatively, hundreds of times, in both English and Japanese on every console. Of course, we can't do this until everything else is finished. After all, any change to a project could inadvertently cause an issue. For example, making changes for console could make bugs on PC, making changes for Japanese could make bugs for English, etc. So this will be one of the final steps. And even more. There's a few more things to think about too. Get the game reviewed by the ratings boards. That's fun. Complete the soundtrack and get it ready for release. And make the trailer and release materials. And more? There's going to be a trailer. That's interesting. Putting it together. So those are the main steps to getting chapters 3 and 4 ready for release. The order looks kind of like this. Testing, new function. Complete untested chapter 4 English PC version. Right. Console ports, Japanese version, other stuff. Bug testing, release. We'll let you know the progress of each of these things going forward. That's it for this page. Closing thoughts. No, Undyne. She's in suspended animation. Thank you guys so much for your patience. I'm monumentally thankful for everyone still waiting while we get over this final hill before the release of chapters 3 and 4. With the progress on chapter 5, I'm feeling confident that once chapter 3 and 4 comes out, the release schedule for the following chapters will be a lot smoother. It's still going to take a good while to get there, but once we do, you'll never have to wait so long for a chapter ever again. By the way, one more unrelated thing. Dead Mam's chest. Oh, okay. It's Hololive again. This time, Camellia and I created a song for the legendary pirate, Hoshu Marine? I think that's how you'd say that. It's got an amazing music video, so check it out. Maybe later. I'm pretty sure it would be copyrighted, right? Marine's desire was us to create a boss song about her. A serious, intense song that doesn't pull any gags at all. As a song reference for this, they sent me Megalovania. Anyway, I tried my best to make something cool. Okay. I'll try to get another update in September. Good to know. Help me, Chris. I am cooking. I am hot, but not in the way I'd want. Well, that's honestly kind of what I expected. Like, I didn't expect like a shadow drop or anything, that's for sure. I'm kind of honestly surprised Chapter 4 came out so quickly. I mean, in the spring newsletter, they said they were like just at the beginning, basically, right? So, I mean, it's been 3 months, but still, I'm kind of impressed, honestly, with how long it's taken to get Chapter 3. That one must be really intensive. Well, I guess they said they were doing all these mini games, so that's basically programming like 5 different games. So hey, that's pretty good. My thoughts. We'll see in September what Toby says. I have a feeling we're gonna be closer than he thinks. I think I said this last time too. Just because it's taken so long, and he's not used to working with such a big team. I have a feeling we'll be a little closer than he thinks, but he knows better than I do, probably. So my best guess would be either around Christmas time, which, you know, if it does, like, Chapter 4 is about Noel a lot, that could work out. Or they'll just save it for, like, next spring, potentially. Depending on the Switch 2 as well. I think that will be a factor, at least. Although, of course, Deltarune can release on the Switch 2 after it's released. But if they end up being so close together, I think it'd be kind of crazy for Toby not to try to get it out as like a launch game for the Switch 2, right? I don't know. That's some inside baseball stuff, probably more so than I should ever consider, but something to keep in mind. As for what we saw, well, now we know Lancer and Rules are staying with us for Chapter 3, at least, so they're probably going to come with us in every chapter, which is good. That was my hope, honestly. So yeah. Anyway, nothing really to make theories about in this one. It's just good news, basically. So, nice. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Bye.